So worksheet 5 is Thursday and Friday's assignment. Again, I'm seeing everyone in first period today because seniors haven't gone to their picnic yet. But between prom and picnic and weekend stuff, we're kind of spreading this out. So my suggestion is today you do the odds and Friday you do the evens. Now, if you know you're going to be gone tomorrow, or you guys at home want to work ahead, it doesn't matter to me. Eventually, you got to do them all. But if you're looking to space them out, I would do the odds today and the evens tomorrow, and then Monday I would do the review odds, and Tuesday I would do the review evens. But again, that's just my suggestion for how you space it out. So how you want to accomplish this work between now and next Wednesday or Thursday is your call. This is just a straightforward way to do it. All right, let's do a couple of these together just to get us rolling. You know how to do them, but let's do a couple. Let's do 7 and 13. And the answers will be posted at some point. Number 7, from a hang glider approaching a 5,000 foot clearing. So here's our hang glider. And obviously it's very important to draw the hang glider as best as possible. There we go. That's pretty good. First attempt at drawing a dude on a hang glider. Approaching a 5,000 foot clearing. So presumably he's going to land in this 5,000 foot clearing, I guess. The angles of depression. So we've done angle of elevation. That's when you're standing on the ground and looking up. Angle of depression, well, that would be you're up in the air and looking down. So if you look straight out, that would be no depression. But he's got to look down to see this clearing, the landing strip, I guess. So the opposite ends of the fields are 24 and 30. So the small one's 24 and the big one's 30. So the inside is 6, if that matters. We'll see. How far is the hang glider from the nearer end of the field? So I think it wants that distance, because it doesn't say along the ground or how high up in the air is he. It's just how far is the hang glider from the near end of the field. Let's see. So we know this inside angle is 6. And I'm already thinking law of sines, because 6 and 5,000 are across from each other. But I would need this angle to be across from x to finish writing the law of sines. So I need this guy. Anybody feeling some geometry this morning? Got two parallel lines with the transversal. It's 24. So you can ignore this stuff. That's kind of just getting in the way. It's 24. And in geometry, you learned what all those were called, but it doesn't really matter. You just have to be able to recognize when they're equal. Those would be alternate interior angles. But again, you don't have to know the name, as long as you can realize, wait a minute, those are parallel. So yeah, those two things are equal to each other. No, we're not going to get tricky with you like that. That was a good question. Are there going to be any that look parallel but aren't parallel? No. X sine 6 equals 5,000 sine 24. Yeah, this would be that case if if the landing strip wasn't level, if the landing strip was tilted one way or the other, then you'd have some messed up geometry to try to figure out. So 5,000 sine 24 divided by sine 26. Nope, divided by sine of 6. that didn't look right. 5,000 sine 24 divided by sine of 6. $19,455.784 feet. Which seems a little long. Like maybe we should revisit this question. I mean, we did all the math right, but that's like 3.5 miles. So, although I guess if he's way up in the air, he might could see 3 miles down to the clearing that's nearly a mile long. So I guess maybe it makes sense. Let's do number 13. A little more geometry going on here. The measure of two sides of a parallelogram are 50 and 80. So I don't really know what the parallelogram looks like. I'm definitely going to make one side shorter than the other side because it's 50 and 80. Again, I don't need to be to scale, but reasonably to scale might help me make sense of the answer. One diagonal is 90. How long is the other diagonal? Well, what seems like a trick is I don't know which diagonal is 90. Like, is it the short diagonal or the long diagonal? And I don't know the answer to that. So I'm just going to guess, and we'll figure out in a minute if we guessed right or not. Based on the picture, do you want to guess long or short? So yeah, let's guess the long one. We don't really know, but we'll guess the long one. And we want to find the short one. So this gets the picture gets a little bit crazy. I don't think I want to draw the short one because then it messes up the triangle I'm looking at. So let's find, we know all the sides. Let's find this angle, because if we can find that angle, then we can use it to find this angle. That would be same side interior, they would add to 180. And then we could use that angle to find the other diagonal. So it's like 3 steps here. Let's find, we'll call it angle A. That will lead us to angle B, and then angle B can lead us to the other diagonal. So it's kind of our game plan here. So to find angle A, if I know all the sides, cosine of angle A, which means 90 squared needs to be on the other side. Some of you jump straight to the cosine formula, and that's okay. Others of you are going to write it the same way every time and then do the algebra. Squared minus 50 squared minus 80 squared. We've done this enough times where I'm not going to show all the individual steps. Then we'll divide over -2, 50, and 80. And we need to inverse cosine that, so I'll put that in the calculator. Sometimes I put it in like one step at a time. Other times I remember to just go inverse cosine of the whole thing. I just jump straight to the answer. Just type it all in. Double check when you type all that stuff in, because the calculator is not going to make a mistake. It's only going to be you if you finger flubbed a button somewhere. So just a quick double check. So angle A is 84.261. Whoops, shouldn't box out. That's not really my answer. What does that mean about whether 90 is the long diagonal or the short diagonal? It's the short one, because that angle is less than 90. So we drew this backwards. but it doesn't matter. We're still going to be okay. So our picture's not exactly right, but let's see, angle B then. What's the relationship between A and B? Geometry All-Stars? They add to 180, yeah. Whenever there's the parallel line thing, like there's like 6 different names of different types of angles, but they were all either equal or add to 180. So it's like, kind of who cares what they're called, as long as you can tell if they're equal or 180. And clearly one of these is bigger than 90 and one's smaller than 90. So 180 minus angle A will get us angle B. .739. And so now I'm looking at the other triangle. And I don't know if it's necessary to redraw it, but if it helps you visualize what's going on, that's angle B. And we're looking for the length of that diagonal. So that would be law of sines, law of cosines. Cosines. Yeah, I don't have an angle side pair. I mean, I don't know an angle side pair. I'm looking for D. That's across from 95, but I don't know. So law of cosines. And I'll even be lazy and not write out angle B. I'll just write angle B because I know what it is. It's right there. Then I can go to the calculator. And this one's even easier. This is the straightforward format of law of cosines. Squared plus 80 squared minus 2, 50, 80. Okay. 9,700. Man, that seems really big. I forgot to square root it. I've tried to make that mistake intentionally a few times because it is one of the more common mistakes. And if you're paying attention, you'll figure it out. Because, like, look at your picture. 9,700 for the length of the other diagonal does not make sense. 98 makes more sense. And the unit was centimeters. So again, how you want to divide this up over the next few days is completely up to you. My suggestion is do the odds. You probably have time in class to do the odds. And so if you'll keep up with me and you're in class, you can probably avoid homework, at least have a very little homework, keeping up. I'll post the answers. And again, officially today's assignment is odds. Tomorrow's is evens, and then next week, same thing for the review, odds, evens, and then we'll test on Wednesday. So, just trusting you to keep up with it and do what you need to do to finish by the time we have our test next Wednesday.